Hey, welcome to Outsmart Your Guitar. Glad you could join us. Today is part 2 in the Dorian Mode series, so we're going to be focusing on the second position of the Dorian Mode scale. All right, so let's just get right to it, and be sure to like and subscribe to Outsmart Your Guitar along the way. We're in the second position of the Dorian Mode, all right, and that starts at the 5th fret, basically on the second note of the scale, right? So we start on the second note of the Dorian Mode, which is A, and we're going to play with our first finger, and you'll notice as you look at the diagram, no shifting taking place. This second position we're going to refer to as the Phrygian form. Form just simply means pattern or shape. Yeah, words elude me. So we're going to start with the first finger at the 5th fret on the 6th string, second finger at 6, 4th finger at 8. Then we're moving to the 5th string at 5 with the first finger, 3rd finger at 7, 4th finger at 8. We move to the 4th string at 5, and you'll notice that's a root, that open circle. So tap that 2 or 3 times. This keeps us grounded in the key of G and helps us identify the place of our roots. The next note is at 7 with your 3rd finger, 8 with your 4th finger, moving over to the 3rd string with your 1st finger at 5, 3rd finger at 7, moving to the 2nd string at 5 with your 1st finger, 6 with your 2nd finger. Now at 8 with your 4th finger, we have another root, so tap that 3 times. And then we go to the 1st string at 5 with the 1st finger. Now, you'll notice on the 6th string, we have 5, 6, 8. Well, since that's an E string and that's an A, this is also an A, so 5, 6, 8. So you can play the 6th fret note and the 8th fret note if you want as well. Now, descending, you play it exactly the same way, same fingering, just in reverse. Tapping the root, tapping the root, turning around, and ending on a root. So if you play this up and back, tapping your roots, and then when you're done, instead of ending here, just come right back up and end on a root so that you keep yourself grounded in the key of G and you hear the Dorian Mode scale notes as they should be heard as they relate to the root. Okay? So take a few minutes and run this up and back, get comfortable with it. Okay, let's bring in the looper and the G minor vamp, remember that? Just like in part 1, you just want to play a G minor there, and then you're going to play over the top of it, and you're going to tap your roots to help you remember where they are in this second position, the Phrygian form. Okay, so run it up and back, and you can play those notes as well, because that's what I'm going to do here myself. So here's what you're going for. 3, 4. And you'll notice I ended on a root just to further reinforce the key of the scale we're playing in, which is G. All right? So spend a couple of minutes and get comfortable playing the position, getting your fingers used to the pattern that they are playing out. Now, the fun part, right? So you get to now focus on melodic potentials. And that means running up and down, jumping strings if you want. You can bend strings where you think they might work best being bent, right? And just have a little fun with it. But again, stay very focused. Don't move away from the second position. We're exploring the second position, getting comfortable with it. So here's what you're going for. And you can just go on and on, right? Spend 5-10 minutes or so just exploring the potentials that you have here in this second position. It's a lot of fun once you begin to explore and discover the little hidden things that you can do in this position. So definitely spend 5-10 minutes just letting loose. But again, don't drift away from the second position. All right, there it is, the second position of the Dorian mode. And you're noticing almost immediately it has its own challenges, just as the first position did. And this is why I encourage you to mind this position for all it's worth, because the second position of the scale has things hidden there that cannot be played in any other position. And what I mean by that is the way you will approach putting notes together flows better in this position than in other positions. And those are the hidden things in plain sight that you need to discover. There's other stuff there that sounds really good here that won't sound as good in another position as well. Even though you could play it in another position, it won't quite have the same sonic quality that you're looking for as this position does. And that's true of each of the 5 positions. They all contain stuff that you cannot and generally will not want to do in any other position. All right? So spend your time here and review the first position of the scale. Keep it in your mind. Then here in the second position, bear in mind what they have to offer, having mind each position so that you know what they're all about. That's what it's all about. And that's the deeper learning that you want to spend in getting each position of this scale, any scale, understood and under your fingers. All right? Thank you once again for letting me be your teacher. I'm glad you spend the time here and learn what I have to offer. It does mean a whole lot to me. And part 3 is coming up. So when you're ready, it should be there, as will I. And we'll see you there.